Hello everyone, JC De Guzman for our daily top 5 gainers and top 5 losers analysis. This is for July 2, 2019 in preparation for the next trading day on Wednesday, July 3rd, 2019. Tonight I'm going to talk about 10 different stocks. I will give you my technical analysis and then I will synthesize that so I can give you my recommendations and overall sentiment. Everything I'm going to share with you tonight is for short-term trading purposes. Beginning with Bloom, this stock closed today at 11.74. The nearest resistance is at 12.96 while the nearest support is at 11.14. Let's check if the conditions of our 10 SMA and MACD combination remain true. And I can see that the 10 SMA and MACD combo is still true in the case of Bloom, especially that a bullish or a golden cross was registered on Bloom's MACD today. It's a golden cross. I can also see that the 3-point criteria of Bloom are also present. It's a green candlestick. It closed above the VWAP of 11.60. We're seeing a green volume bar that is higher than the stock's 50% of the stock's 10-day volume average. And to confirm if the 4-point criteria are all present, let's check the trade and volume distribution chart. And I think it is because the dominant range is between 11.5 to 11.74. 11.5 to 11.74, which is in favor of the buyers. I'm also seeing that the positive DMI crossed above the negative DMI. However, it doesn't mean that the upward momentum is already very strong. It's not yet very strong. RSI is still distant from the classical overbought level. That means it somewhat gives Bloom more room to test the resistance at 12.96, especially if Bloom will continuously register a significantly sizable volume uh, beginning tomorrow. Okay, so Bloom also has a low risk level based on its historical volatility. So it's ideal for those who are newbies when it comes to short-term trading. So my overall sentiment here, well, before I talk about my overall sentiment, let's double check. Let's confirm if we are really seeing a bullish sentiment, especially with the as far as the trades of the top 10 brokers are concerned. Okay, so let's check here. How many green volume bars or how many green bars do we see? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 10. That's bearish for me. How many of these 10 have a higher buy average than sell average? Let's count. So we have 1, 2, we only got 2. So 2 out of 10. So that's another bearish signal as well. So I am seeing a bearish sentiment coming from our market sentiment analyzer. Let's go back to the chart so I can tell you what's being manifested by the sentiment of the top 10 players. Remember, Bloom or the foreign investors registered a net foreign selling worth 72 million pesos on Bloom today. So the bearish sentiment that we saw on our market sentiment analyzer is a manifestation of the bearish appetite of the foreign investors toward Bloom. Nonetheless, my overall sentiment on Bloom remains bullish. Okay, now for those who entered a new position today on Bloom because you saw the satisfied or met conditions of our 10 SMA and MACD combination, there is a data-driven reason for you to top up if you would like to top up tomorrow. For those who are planning to enter a new position, you also have a data-driven reason to do so, provided that you top up or enter a new position within the dominant range that I have shown you. Now remember, if any stock begins at a price lower or higher than its dominant range for the previous trading day for today, then you have to request a fresh trade and volume distribution chart in our private clients forum so that I can tell you the prevailing dominant range so that you will know where to position strategically. Okay, remember that. Okay, so I am bullish on Bloom. Next, we have MARC. MARC closed today at 1.27. Support is at 0.99. Resistance is at 1.41. Because of this because of this significant price action driven by this towering volume, expect that all these uh, indicators that are dependent on price movement will steeply uh, point towards the northward direction, and that's what we're seeing right now. Take a look at the last line of RSI, historical volatility, and the positive DMI. Okay, now let me just tell you something about the foreign investors participation. They are not that active on MARC, so it's insignificant. Okay, we're not going to uh, we're not going to derive our overall sentiment, or we're not going to factor in the foreign investor sentiment for MARC in developing our final sentiment for this particular stock. Now let's take a look instead at the trade and volume distribution chart. 1.04. Take a look at this. 92%, 92 to 93% of today's volume was registered at 1.04, but with a measly number of trades. What does this mean? There's a big cross trade that happened at 1.04. Therefore, I'm going to eliminate 1.04 from the picture. So I'm going to say that the dominant range is between 1.24 to 1.27. It's in favor of the buyers still. 1.24 to 1.27. Let's check the confirmation of the sentiment from our market sentiment analyzer. How many green bars do we see? 4 out of 10. That's bearish. How many have a higher buy average than sell average? Let's check. So we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, we got 3 out of 10. That's bearish as well. Okay, that's bearish as well. So our market sentiment based on this chart is bearish, despite seeing a bullish sentiment from our trade and volume distribution chart. So here's my advice. If you manage to enter a new position on MARC this afternoon or this morning, I do not advise topping up yet. I don't advise topping up yet because we did not get a bullish sentiment from our market sentiment analyzer based on the activities of the top 10 players or top 10 brokers who traded MARC today. Okay, this green candlestick and the towering volume bar, the bullishness of these two bars did not manifest on our market sentiment analyzer. So we have to be very, very, very careful in deciding, especially when it comes to topping up or entering a new position on MARC. So if you entered a new position on MARC this today, don't top up yet unless you see a follow through on the size of the volume of MARC tomorrow. When you see a sizable volume tomorrow on MARC, especially in the first half of trading, again, you have to request or check the latest or the prevailing dominant range, whether it's closer to the intraday high or the intraday low. If it's closer to the intraday high and the intraday than the intraday low, then that's the time that you should consider topping up. Now, if you are planning to enter a new position on MARC, don't hurry. Follow the exact same advice that I have given for those who already have MARC. Monitor first in the first half of trading in the morning. Monitor first. If you are seeing a sizable volume, a follow through on the volume, let's say after 30 minutes, the volume is already at the 50% of the stock's 10-day volume average, then you can request for the stock's latest trade and volume distribution chart so that you will know where to position strategically. Okay, so don't hurry. Don't immediately decide to do a test buy yet. That's my personal sentiment and interpretation of these numbers that we have seen on the chart of MARC. Okay, there you go for MARC. Next, we have ABA ABA closed today at 1.06. Support is at 0.86. Resistance, the psychological resistance is at 1.42. Okay, 1.42. Is the 10 SMA MACD combo, are the conditions still true? Yes, they are. How about the 4-point criteria? Are they present? Let's check. So we have one point. It's a green volume bar. It closed above the VWAP of 1.03, 2 points. We're seeing a green volume bar that is higher than the 50% of Abacor's 10-day volume average. We got 3 points. Let's check the trade and volume distribution chart. The dominant range is between 1 peso and 1.06. That's in favor of the buyer, so we got 4 points. So the 4-point criteria are present on Abacor's chart. Take note that RSI is already dancing inside the classical overbought level. Okay, so be careful, especially those of you who are planning to enter a new position. On the other hand, the upward momentum remains strong. So if you have had Abacor for a few weeks already, do I see a data-driven reason for you to top up? Yes, I do. Do I see a data-driven reason for those who are planning to enter a new position to do a test buy? Yes, I also do. But again, do it very cautiously because again, RSI is already playing inside the classical overbought level. So if you're going to top up or do a test buy, do it within the dominant range that I've mentioned a while ago. Again, if and only if any of these stocks begin at a price lower or higher than the dominant range, you have to request for the stock's latest trade and volume distribution chart in our forum, especially if you are not using First Metrosec Pro. Okay? Now, by the way, for those of you who are subscribed for 1 year, if you are subscribed for 1 year, you are entitled to receive 2 months of free access to First Metrosec Pro. So just send an email to contact@equilis.com if you're interested so that I can forward your details to First Metrosec Pro so that they can give you access. Okay, of course, you will have to have a First Metrosec account with them. You have to sign up. Okay, there you go. So there you go for Abacor. Let's check, by the way, Abacor's trade and volume distribution market sentiment analyzer. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 10. That's bullish already. How about the buy versus sell average? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 out of 10. So that's bullish. I am seeing a bullish sentiment from Abacor's market sentiment analyzer. So it supports the pieces of advice that I have given to those who have had Abacor and those who are planning to enter a new trade. Bullish. Okay. Next, PNB. This is closed today at 51.9. Support is at 47.28. I am seeing a midterm resistance at 52.8, which is in confluence with a 61.8% retracement of our up Fibonacci. And beyond 52.8 is the major resistance at 61.54. Let's check 10 SMA and MACD combo. Is it still true? Let's double check. Yes, it is. I'm seeing a golden cross on MACD's chart, by the way. It's important to mention that, golden cross. How about the 4-point criteria? Oh, let's check one at a time. Green, it's a green candlestick, 1 point. It closed above the VWAP of 51.32, 2 points. We're seeing a green volume bar that is higher than the stocks, higher than the 50% of PNB's 10-day volume average. We get 3 points. Okay, let's check the trade and volume distribution chart if it will complete the 4-point criteria. The dominant range is between 51.9 to 52 in favor of the buyer. So it completes the 4-point criteria. So that's good. We got lots of bullish signals on PNB's chart. RSI is still far from the classical overbought level. The positive DMI has not crossed above the negative DMI yet, but I'm seeing a formation of a bullish convergence between the two lines. PNB has a low risk level. Okay, foreign investors did not participate that much today, so it's insignificant. Okay, let's check if we will get a bullish sentiment from our market sentiment analyzer. So how many green bars? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, that's bullish already. How about buy versus sell average? We got how many have a higher buy average than sell average? So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of 10. So that's bullish. So I got a bullish sentiment from our market sentiment analyzer. So you have data-driven reasons to top up and to enter a new position, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? I am bullish on PNB. When you top up or enter a new position, do it within the dominant range that I've shown you. Again and again, and this is the last time I'm going to mention this, if and when the stock starts at a price lower or higher than the dominant range, post a request for the stock's prevailing current or latest trade and volume distribution chart in our forum. Okay? All right, next, PRIM. This stock closed today at 1.83. Let's see the resistance. Okay, the acting support is now at 1.79 and resistance is at 2.46. It's not yet I got this when I plotted the weekly chart of PRIM. This is still a historical resistance. It's not yet a psychological one. So it's historical. 2.46 rooted all the way to, let me show you, 2011. That far. Okay, 2011. So anyhow, let's check if the 10 SMA and MACD combo is still true. Yes, it is. How about the 4-point criteria? Got 1, 2, 3. VWAP is at 1.73. So we got 3 points. Let's check its TVD chart. So we got all 4 points present. The dominant range is between 1.75 to 1.9. 1.75 to 1.9 in favor of the buyers. So let's check the sentiment to confirm. Okay, to confirm if the sentiment is indeed bullish. Let's count the green bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, bullish. How about the buy versus sell average? How many have a higher buy than sell average? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 10. So we got a bullish sentiment, a confirmed bullish sentiment from our market sentiment analyzer. What does that mean? So those who would like to top up or enter a new position, you can do so. But I have a friendly reminder for those who are yet to enter. Okay, why? RSI is already inside the classical overbought level. Plus, PRIM has an extremely high risk level. Extremely high risk level. Take note of that. There's the word extremely. Okay? So, if you are a newbie trader, I don't advise that you do a test buy on PRIM, even though there are bullish signals all over. Simply because the risk level is already extremely high. I do not advise newbie traders to jump right away into trading stocks with an extremely high risk level, no matter how many bullish signals you have. So this is a heart attack stock, so to speak. Okay? Alright, so there you go for my analysis, sentiment, and recommendation for PRIM. I am bullish, but for those who are planning to enter a new position, be Very careful. You have to think thrice whether you would like to trade it or not. Okay? All right, next, Vulcan. VUL closed today at 1.44. Support is at 1.44 also. Resistance is at 1.91. If it breaks below 1.44, that will make 1.03 as its next support. So let's check. Is the 10 SMA MACD combo remain still true? Let's check. MA is at the 10-day simple moving average is at 1.45. Unfortunately, it closed at 1.44. Therefore, the 10 SMA and MACD combo is it has already been invalidated. Let's not even check if the 4-point criteria are present because it doesn't make sense. Why? Well, the first criterion is already false. It's a red candlestick already. Okay? Now, let me show you here. The trade and volume distribution chart with respect to the closing price of 1.44. The dominant range is between 1.44 to 1.52, still in favor of the sellers. Okay, so let's confirm if we will get a bearish sentiment from our market sentiment analyzer. How many green bars? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. How about those with a higher buy average than sell average? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 and 5. So that's neutral for me. Sideways, neutral. So what does this mean? If you have VUL and it's still trading above your trailing stop loss, you have two options. Hold your position or preempt your trailing stop loss. Do I see a data-driven reason to preempt your trailing stop loss? Yes, I do. Take a look at the size of this red volume bar. Do I advise topping up? No, not yet. Don't do that. How about entering a new position? No, no as well. Don't enter a new position yet. Consider entering a new position once the 10 SMA and MACD combo becomes true again, or whenever the 4-point criteria become perfectly present again, but not now. Okay, profit taking stood as the dominant action of the traders on Vulcan, probably because RSI already inched closer to its classical overbought level, although it did not technically play inside the classical overbought level. Okay, next we have PHEN. Okay, PHEN closed today at 2.33. It's at the brink of breaking below its support at 2.29. Resistance is at 2.81. If it breaks below 2.29, that will make 1.96 as the next support level. Let's not bother checking the 4-point criteria because they are surely not perfectly present. Just, by the appearance of this red candlestick, you already know. How about the 10 SMA and MACD combination? It has already been invalidated in the case of PHEN. So let's jump on PHEN's trade and volume distribution chart. The dominant range is closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. That's bearish. It's between 2.33 to 2.4. How about the market sentiment analyzer? Does it give us a bearish sentiment? Let's count the number of green bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How about the number of brokers with a bigger buy average than sell average? Let's count. We got 1, 2, we got 2 so far, 3, 4, 5. So we got 5. I got a bullish. I got a bullish sentiment on PHEN's market sentiment analyzer, which is in contrarian to this bearish sentiment that we got on its trade and volume distribution chart. Okay, so what does that mean? If it's bearish in the trade and volume distribution chart but bullish on the market participant market sentiment analyzer, what does it mean? take a look at this candlestick. It means to say, with the VWAP of 2.37 and the closing price of 2.33, it means to say that the bulls tried to recover or regain their position, throughout the trading day. So they did not give up that easily. But it doesn't mean, not because we saw a bullish market sentiment on our market sentiment analyzer, that doesn't mean that we have a signal to top up or to enter a new position. Because that's just one basis for the bullish market sentiment. We still have other indicators that are bearish on PHEN. So that collection of bearish indicators against PHEN will outpower the bullishness that was derived from the market sentiment analyzer. So overall, the overall sentiment here is still bearish for PHEN. Okay, so don't enter a new position, don't top up, especially if it's still moving above your trailing stop loss. Do I see a data-driven reason to preempt your trailing stop loss? It's not that alarming for me yet. It's not that alarming. However, I suggest that you sell a few tranches, not necessarily everything. Okay, sell a few tranches, maybe half of your shares. Okay, on PHEN. But for those who are planning to enter a new trade, please don't enter a new position yet. At least wait for the appearance of the 4-point criteria. Okay, that is if you would like to preempt the satisfaction of the conditions of the 10 SMA and MACD combination. But of course, if you'd like to be if you'd like to have a high conviction bullish call on PHEN, don't just wait for the appearance of the 4-point criteria. Wait for the satisfaction of the conditions of the 10 SMA and MACD combination also. Okay, but for now, overall, don't top up, don't enter a new position on PHEN yet. Okay, what do we have next? We have SurePass. It closed today at 1.14. Support is at 0.91. Resistance is at 1.35. The 10 SMA and MACD combo remain true. The 4-point criteria are not perfectly present. Okay, the RSI is still distant from the classical overbought level. Risk level remains low. It's a relatively huge red volume bar. That's what I see. But let's jump to the trade and volume distribution chart. The dominant range is between 1.13 to 1.16, bearish, closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. Market sentiment, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars, 6 green bars. How about buy average versus sell average? We got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. 3, 4, 5, 6. We got a neutral sentiment on SurePass's market sentiment analyzer. So if I'm going to mix and match all of these, what's my overall sentiment then? I am neutral on SurePass. It's more likely for SurePass to just continue trading sideways, especially between 0.9 to maybe until 1.2, 0.91 to 1.2, 1.17 to 1.2. Okay, so if you have SurePass and it's still trading above your trailing stop loss, I suggest that you hold your position. Don't top up yet. How about those who are planning to enter a new trade on SurePass? Well, add it into your watch list. You don't have to dump the idea of trading SurePass. It's still tradable, but I would suggest that you wait for the appearance of the 4-point criteria. Okay, just to lessen the risk, so to speak. That's why I'm advising that you wait for the appearance of the 4-point criteria. So don't enter a new position just yet. Okay, next we have Now Corporation. It closed today at 2.6. Support is at 1.98. Resistance is at 2.88. the 10 SMA and MACD combination remains true. RSI is still far from the overbought level. Risk level is at a moderate risk. What else? Foreign investors they don't have a significant participation in Trading Now Corporation. The dominant range is between 2.6 to 2.7 in favor of the sellers. Market sentiment, let's check. How many green bars? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Buy average versus sell average. We got 1. We're counting the ones that have a higher buy average than sell average, by the way. So we got 1 there. Okay, we got 1. Seems that we just got 1. Okay, we just got 1. So my overall sentiment here is bearish on its market sentiment analyzer. Okay, so don't enter a new position yet. Don't top up. If you have it and it's still moving above your trailing stop loss, just hold it. Don't top up. Is there a data-driven reason to preempt your trailing stop loss? No, don't be alarmed. Don't hurry. But that's my recommendation. For Now Corporation, it's more likely to trade sideways just like SurePass. Finally, we have CA, Class A. It closed today at 116.6. Support is at 57.58. There is a midterm support at 105.95, which is in confluence with a 61.8% retracement of our up Fibonacci. Okay, so if it breaks below 105.95, it will then be more likely for the price to continue its descent towards 89 first as a precursor to 57.6. The trade and volume distribution chart is the dominant range here. Let me just zoom it out. Is between 116.6 to 117. It's bearish in favor of the sellers. How about the market sentiment? How many green bars? I got used to volume bars. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many have a higher buy average than sell average? Let's count. Count with me. 1. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for me, this is neutral as well. Neutral. It's not that bullish because we just got 5. But if we got 6 with the green bar, then I would say it's bullish sentiment. But regardless, even if we will get 6 green bars, my advice is still not to enter a new position on CA. And my advice is for you not to top up yet, just in case you have it and it's still moving above your trailing stop loss. If you have it and if it's still trading above your TSL, hold your position. I do not see an alarming reason for you to hurry up in preempting your trading stop loss. Don't enter a new position yet, for those who are planning to do so. Okay? Okay, so you've heard my technical analysis, overall sentiment, and recommendations for these 10 stocks in preparation for tomorrow's trading. By the way, let me just segue this quickly. This coming Saturday, I'll be in Baguio to teach my evergreen strategy in trading the Philippine stock market to 20 to 30 people. There's still a few seats left, so just go ahead and click on the seminars. If you are from La Union, Pangasinan, Baguio, or any city or province near Baguio, you can still buy your ticket. I think there are still a few tickets left. So here, Baguio. Okay, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. The venue is at the Microtel Inn and Suites by Wyndham Baguio, Benguet. Okay, this coming Saturday, July 6, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. All right, so see you there. So thank you and have a great trading day tomorrow. Bye for now.